Welcome back, Math 2 students. We're going to be working on the bluebird today. So, bluebird flights is represented by the graph below. So, we're given the graph. It's a little bit more easier. So first, let's start off with the vertex. So we can see that somewhere right here between 12 and 14 is the vertex. This is going to be the highest point, which is at 12. So your vertex here is at 13, 12. This is your vertex right here. Let's go ahead and fill that in. The zeros are the x-intercepts, so I see a 0 right here and another 0 right here. So the first 0 is going to be at 0, 0. And the second one is going to be at 26, 0. Remember, in order to be an x-intercept, has to be a number, and your y-intercept has to be 0 in order to be an x-intercept / 0 or roots. Maximum height. Remember that maximum height is the y values. So this graph goes all the way up to 12. So the maximum height is 12. Axis of symmetry, it's the middle of the graph, which in this case, it's at x equals 13. So we can go ahead and write that in already. Distance, well, it starts from 0 all the way to 26. Remember that all you have to do is subtract 26 minus 0, which ultimately gives you 26. Domain. Remember that domain is all possible x values. So from where the graph starts to where it begins. So on the x values, I can see that it starts at 0 and goes all the way to 26. So the way we write this is brackets 0 all the way to 26 and close brackets. Range. Remember that range is all possible y values. So using a different highlighter, let's do yellow. We can see that the graph, let's do purple, or let's do orange. So going up and down, we can see that the graph starts at 0, but then works all the way up and stops at 12. So again, brackets 0, and then it goes all the way up to 12. And that is your domain and range. Super easy because we're given the graph. Alrighty. The last thing that we need to do is finding the a value, then write the factor form equation. So this is where you do have to do a little bit of math. I want the factored form. Okay, so factored form is in the form of y equals a, parentheses x minus a number, x minus a number. We already have our x-intercept, so y equals a. First x-intercept, we said it's 0, so let's do x minus 0. Second x-intercept is x minus 26. Now this is not our full equation. Why? Because we need the value of a. That's what we're trying to find. So this is where our vertex comes in place. Vertex we said was 13, 12. Let's label this is x and this is y. We're going to substitute the x in our equation and the y into our equation. So y, we said is 12 because of our vertex. A is the value we're trying to find. X is 13 from our vertex minus 0. 13 again minus 26. Let's do some math. 12, bring it down. A, 13 minus 0 is just 13. 13 minus 26. Well, that gives me negative 13. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. If we were to multiply that out, 13 times negative 13 gives you negative 169. But we want a by itself, so we're gonna, this is multiplication, so we're gonna divide both sides by negative 169. Negative 169 cancels out. Now we have a by itself. So a equals negative 12 over negative 169. Now we have our final equation. So using this equation right here, we're going to plug in our a. So y equals, only one negative actually, negative 12 over 169, x minus 0, and x minus 26. And that is your factor form equation. So now that we found everything, since you have the graph, all you have to do is explain in 2 to 3 sentences how you found the height and the distance. So 2 to 3 sentences, I need you to explain how you found your height and your distance. This one was an easy one because you were given the graph. So the only hard part was question 8, finding the factor form equation. So please start doing your Bluebird because again, my example is different from your example. And then I will check out your Bluebird screenshot once you turn it in. Thank you guys. See you guys in the Yellowbird